If there's one rule that anti-gun politicians, organizations, and the mainstream media live by, it's never say the words gun confiscation, even if that's exactly what you want to do. You can't blame them though, because the last time someone said gun confiscation to people in America, this happened. So instead of saying gun confiscation, they call it a buyback program.
But they believed, and I think the evidence supports them, that by offering to buy back those guns, they were able to, curtail the supply and to set a different standard for gun purchases in the future. So I think that's worth considering. I don't know enough details to tell you how we would do it or how it would work, but certainly the Australian example is worth looking at.
See, it sounds so innocent and sweet. They did a buyback program and all was right with the world, except she leaves out the part where that country's buyback program was mandatory, which is another way of saying confiscation. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some politicians who've gone full Tropic Thunder and said we should have mandatory buyback programs in America.
But I'm the only candidate on this stage calling for a ban and buyback of every single assault weapon in America.
But he's a little special. They can call it whatever passive-aggressive phrase they want, because the ultimate goal of these schemes is the same. Take privately owned guns out of the hands of the people. Now, technically, a gun buyback program and mandatory buyback program are not the same thing. A buyback program is where some government body pays money to incentivize people to turn in their guns. A mandatory buyback program is where they force you to give up your guns under the threat of criminal punishment and then pay you a fraction of what you paid for your gun. So essentially, the former is voluntary and the latter is not. On the surface, a voluntary buyback program seems innocent enough, except they're incredibly stupid, wasteful, predatory, and ineffective. Voluntary gun buybacks are wasteful in that they're spending our tax dollars to buy back guns that criminals wouldn't even take for free. Think about what type of gun you would want to get rid of. The guns are usually so old they don't work, or so bad at being a gun you couldn't give them away. They're predatory in that they feed off of people's ignorance. There's always that one old lady that brings in her dead husband's old gun that's worth a fortune, but because she doesn't know anything about guns, she thinks it's worthless, and then takes it to the buyback program and gives it away for a Target gift card. Long story short, the only people who bring guns to a voluntary buyback program are people we were never worried about in the first place, and they're usually bringing guns even criminals don't want. Mandatory gun buybacks, on the other hand, are nothing more than a confiscation scheme, which is a brutal violation of the Constitution. They're designed to have the appearance of a mutual exchange, when in reality it's just the government forcing you to sell private property you never wanted to sell in the first place. It's literally the equivalent of the government telling you to sell them your $40,000 car for $1,000, or they'll arrest you and throw you in jail, which, as I said before, is unconstitutional. Compensation is never a justification for violating the Constitution. In short, anytime you hear a politician, gun control organization, or our media talking about gun buybacks, they mean one of two things. Let's do something stupid or unbelievably unconstitutional. No matter how you slice it, a gun buyback program is inherently designed to take guns out of the hands of the people, not criminals. And you can't be for the Second Amendment if you believe the answer is to take guns out of the hands of the people in any fashion. If that were not the case, you'd be calling for a mandatory criminal buyback program, but you're not. And that should tell you everything you need to know about their real intentions. Right now, there's a culture war against the Second Amendment, which is why I need your help spreading our message to counter their message. You can do this by leaving a comment, sharing this video, and click the bell and subscribe button. Let my voice be your voice, and let them know you want to keep America tactical, because the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed wasn't a suggestion, it was a directive. Also, if you're wondering where to purchase your state-specific Keep America Tactical shirt, click the link under the Keep America Tactical in the description section of this video.